Hour and a half goes quick. Any thoughts or questions that have arisen? Nope. All right. So, as I said, the two meditations for the afternoon are variations on properly relating to the spiritual guide in thought. So, if there are no other business, we will jump right into the first of those. So put yourself in a stable, comfortable, upright position. And begin to move your awareness inside, constraining it to the body and mind. And begin to take a couple of minutes to concentrate your awareness on the physical sensation of the breath, attending to whatever you can notice on the in-breath and the out-breath in the space around the opening of the nostrils. And when the mind moves to any other object, simply notice that the mind has become distracted and lift your awareness up as quickly as possible, and then gently but firmly place it back on that sensation each time the mind moves away from the intended object. And then take a moment to reassert your motivation, refresh your motivation from this morning, thinking that the purpose of our time is to establish and grow our good qualities through training the mind in proper reliance on the spiritual guide. And to distance ourselves from the prevalence of the afflicted states of mind, which is also a product of training the mind in proper reliance. And we do this to unlock our potential to be of benefit. And with that motivation, if you would like, you can visualize yourself in a larger open space and visualize your own spiritual guide in front, whomever it is that you feel has benefited your mind the most in this life. You're using the image of the Buddha if there's no one alive or no one that you've met in this life who's played that role yet. And begin to bring to mind their good qualities, those that you have observed, those that you infer. Try to focus on them clearly. And generate a strong conviction in the mind that one's own root guru has all of these good qualities. And begin to contemplate the nature of these good qualities. They don't come out of nowhere. They're not something that a person is intrinsically born with or not born with. One's teacher's mind is of the same clear awareness as every other mind at its most basic level. But one's teacher has undergone a process of cultivating their mind. These good qualities have arisen on the basis of cause and effect, intentionally, repeatedly engaging in practice, study, meditation, virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. So recognize that confidence in the teacher is based on logic, reasoning. And then think, I myself have a mind that is of the same essential nature, clarity and awareness. I myself can apply those methods, engage in those efforts. I myself can become more and more like my teacher. Try to generate that strong enthusiasm to gain those good qualities. And then, in your own way, from your heart, make strong requests for blessings, inspiration in your Dharma practice, to be able to overcome any obstacles, to gain the realizations of the path as quickly as possible. Request from your heart to be able to meet your spiritual guide and recognize them as swiftly as possible, and to be able to follow their advice. And visualize that your spiritual teacher happily, instantaneously responds to your heartfelt requests. They send out beams of light and nectar from their heart, which arcs around and enters the crown of your head, filling your body and mind with that blessing energy, that inspiration, eliminating all obstacles, granting all realizations. And then your spiritual teacher comes to the crown of your head, about the size of the palm of your hand, facing the same direction as you. And they melt into light and absorb down through the crown of your head, through the central channel. And their energy absorbs into your heart center, where they remain with you. And concentrate on that sense of oneness. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. May all sentient beings have this same good fortune and be able to progress quickly along the path to enlightenment. May I and all sentient beings never be separated in all our lives from the perfect Dharma teachings and from a kind spiritual mentor who teaches it to us and kindly guides us on the path. All right, any questions arising, thoughts, concerns, objections? Nope. Okay, we'll take a 10-minute break and come back at 2:10 Mountain Time. Any questions or yes? Jennifer.
Um, we just did the meditation on the root guru. So my question for you, does our root guru come to us in ways other than just them in their physical form? So just them in person. Do they come to us in other ways? And what other ways do they come to us?
So if of course, the training, one of the essential trainings in so two things. One, when we say root guru, we mean, because a person can have many teachers. A person can have, a person might spend some time in one place learning about one topic, and then that person is like, they taught them that one topic, and they lived there for a certain time, and that was, wonderful. But, maybe they're not the root teacher, but they learned something really important, and so on. So we can have many teachers, but generally there's one, could be the person that we, took refuge with, or the person that, if a person becomes a monk or a nun, that, the person that they took those vows with, or, just the person, whoever it is among the different people that we've taken teachings from, that we feel like has been most impactful in guiding us in this life, the person that we would rely on, the most. Like if we if we knew that we were dying, and we wanted to know, like, what should I do, of the 10 people that I've received teaching from, who's the one person that I'm going to ask, like, what do I do now that, I only have a few weeks to live, that sort of, way of distinguishing among different people, all of whom you respect and all of whom you, think of in that way. Think of, so I mean, we maintain a guru disciple relationship with all of those teachers, but generally there's also one who's guru, the most, kind of the most important. And, so, but you don't leave out any of your teachers, in general when you're talking. It's not like you can say, oh, well, I've got 10 teachers, but I can badmouth, the 9 of them, but the root guru, that's the one that I have to, it's not like that. But it's just that, and, some people don't. Some people only have, one or two, and, so it's, I think it's getting less and less common to have a lot. Back in, 1,000 years ago, I think, in India, in Tibet, very common to have many, but I think it's getting less and less common now. Also because the monastic education has, before there were like specialties, like, oh, you have to go to this one person who's studied this one thing. And now, like in the monastic education, everybody is studying all of the topics. So you don't really necessarily have to divide things up in the same way. But the idea of how we're being benefited by the teachers, I guess I don't know that there's one right answer to the question. I began to frame this in the context of the root guru, because in my mind, if if I were to think of other ways in which I might be being benefited, because there certainly are mental trainings where, we are encouraged to think about, like, even for example, negativities as, like hardships, as being something that is coming from the guru, that the guru is helping us to grow by, providing us with opportunities to overcome challenging situations, things like that. So that would be a manifestation of the guru's omniscient mind, right? Manifesting in different ways. Um, and so in that sense, personally, I mean, for me, the way that I would think about that would be as the root teacher's, action, their manifestation, not necessarily, well, it's probably that one teacher that I met that one time who gave me that one thing, who's now manifesting. Probably, I mean, for me, I would just think about it in terms of like those other sorts of manifestations as the root teacher, the main your main spiritual guide, as being, if you choose to think about, and in a way it's kind of like like I say, a mental training to, because we can also think that if someone mistreats us, or, because there's different ways of reinterpreting because we don't know. We can't know for sure, right? Like Dharmakaya, the mind of the Buddhas can manifest in any form that they want. They can take the form of anything, and so it can be a
I
help.
think that's what I meant
Mhm.
is like is he taking other forms in my life is what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be a helpful practice to regard, to look for ways of reinterpreting. Because, again, we can't ever be sure. We can't ever know for sure. Um, but as a training, as a way of choosing to, because, it's all just an interpretation. We're telling ourselves a story about what we're observing, right? We're not enlightened. Our mind is full of obscurations, and everything that we are experiencing, we're giving a story around. So when someone cuts us off in traffic, we can tell ourselves the story that, well, they saw me 5 minutes ago, they started planning 5 minutes ago, they were going to upset me, and they spent 5 minutes, of their time dedicated to ruining my day. And so therefore, I'm totally justified in being, really angry with them because it was premeditated. They thought about it. They wrote out a list of pros and cons. They decided that ruining my day was how they were going to best, go to work. And so I'm going to scream and yell. That's a story, right, that we tell ourselves. We can tell ourselves, well, they've got a pregnant lady in the back seat. They're going to the hospital. They didn't see me. There's an emergency. We don't know. We're not in that car. We're not in the mind of that person. So we're making up in our own mind a story. Either way, one story is going to make us angry. Another story is going to give rise to compassion, give rise to patience, which is beneficial for our own mind. If we can avoid giving rise to anger, that's beneficial for them, beneficial for us. So whenever we can, of course, we don't want to necessarily, you know, if we have strong, but again, we never know what motivations people have. We never know, there's some things like, some sort of mass shooting or something. I probably wouldn't, you know, try to reframe that in a positive way. I think that there's some things when you've got really strong evidence, but there's many times when we can't really infer, and we're just, the easiest thing is maybe to make up a negative story rather than a positive story. So if we can say, well, that person, my teacher knows that I need to develop patience, so they're trying to help me to develop patience. So they're manifesting in all of these ways that are trying my patience so that because they're trying to benefit me. They know that that's what I need to progress on the path. So they're giving me all of these opportunities to actually put what they're teaching me into practice. And that's a wonderful way to go through life and to interpret the things that are happening to the extent that it's not like totally, there and like really flying in the face of a lot of strong, clear, convincing, evidence. We don't want to be totally out of touch with things, but when we can honestly say, I have no idea, then it's good to interpret things in ways that will help us not give in to affliction. Um, so definitely, yeah, if we're seeing the root guru as Buddha, then we can look for all of the ways in which they are intervening in our behalf, in our lives.
Thank you, Venerable Dondrub.
Any other questions? All right, so we'll do the last meditation for today. This one comes from Lama Zopa Rinpoche. It's another variation on relating to the spiritual guide in our thought, and it emphasizes the manifestation, kind of the opposite of what we just talked talked about, this meditation is sort of emphasizing our relationship with the one physical manifestation of the root guru, and how that person often can seem ordinary, can often seem. So this is because, again, we know from the Course, we know that training in a pure view of the guru is the essential mind training. But the guru often manifests, in ways where maybe we, like they take a nap and we're like, well, they're a Buddha. Why are they taking a nap? Or maybe they seem like they're a little bit, stressed out one day, or they're a little bit kind of, they're not as composed one day. And we're like, well, no, but they're a Buddha. That's not possible. Why are they experiencing some stress or some, why did they seem like they were a bit maybe less patient, today than they were before? So we have a critical mind, right? Because we look for fault in others as just kind of as a way of relating to all others, but that tendency we need to overcome in relation to the guru. So that's kind of the theme of this second meditation. Right. So again, organize yourself comfortably, stably. And give yourself an entryway into meditation by calming the mind, using the breath as the object, or if you prefer a different object, spending a few moments calming the mind. And we begin to think that in my own life, my own experience, everything is like a hallucination. There's so many wrong conceptions in my mind. I regard that which is impermanent as permanent, that which is impure as pure, that which lacks an essence as having an essence. So many wrong views. I think definitely there are countless, numberless Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, working for sentient beings, working for me. Numberless Buddhas with omniscient mind, seeing all sentient beings, including myself. All of my sufferings, my needs, my karma. They understand all of the methods that are appropriate for me. It can perfectly lead me to enlightenment without even the slightest mistake. And they possess perfect power to reveal these methods to me according to my karma. And they became Buddhas under the influence of great love, great compassion. So the Buddhas never give up. All the Buddhas are guiding me right now. To think along this line of reasoning and give rise to a conviction that this must be so. And then think that based on my karma, where I took rebirth, there's no one for me to find other than the gurus in this world. If these gurus manifested any lower as an animal, I would be unable to receive any guidance. If they manifested more purely, I myself would lack the karma to be able to see them, to hear them, to interact with them. So I myself only have impure karma to see them in this aspect. With ordinary body, ordinary mind. Sometimes making what seem like mistakes. Don't think that the Guru must manifest in this ordinary form due to my karma. It's choosing to manifest in this way for my benefit. How unbelievably kind. Try to absorb the mind in an understanding of how kind it is for the Guru to take the only aspect that can reach me. And think that for me, this spiritual guide is even more kind than all of the Buddhas of the past. I didn't have the karma to meet them, to be led by them, but I have the karma to meet this spiritual guide, upon whom I must rely purely. Think strongly that every action of the spiritual guide is leading you to enlightenment. Every teaching that leaves a positive imprint in your mind, every question, every doubt that you can clarify, helping you understand the meaning of the teachings, to be able to accumulate vast merit, to purify negativities, to receive refuge vows, initiations, bodhisattva vows, tantric vows, one-day vows. So pause here and reflect on all of the ways in which you can see yourself being led to your enlightenment. I think that the mind that finds fault, that criticizes, is harming me in my development. As the Guru is manifesting in the most skill for my benefit to lead me to enlightenment that I have in this moment. I'm trying to give rise to a strong understanding that the Guru is definitely Buddha. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. Due to the 3 times merits accumulated by myself, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and all sentient beings, may I, all my family members, all students and benefactors of this organization, and all sentient beings be able to meet with perfectly qualified Mahayana gurus in all our future lives. From our side, may we always see them as enlightened. May our actions of body, speech, and mind always please the virtuous friend, and may we be able to fulfill their holy wishes immediately. May I not arise heresy for even 1 second in the actions of the glorious Guru. May I see whatever actions are done as pure. In this way, may I receive the blessings of the Guru in my heart. All right, we have reached the end of the retreat day. Are there any questions, thoughts, questions, concerns? All right, well, you're welcome to also attend the discussion group on Monday. And yeah, and the next module begins on the 3rd. Yep. Death and rebirth. All right, have a great weekend.